Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Let's begin today's daily quiz with question number 1 on your screen. Consider the following statements with regards to admissions in the Kendriya Vidyalayas. Number 1. A member of parliament can recommend up to 5 students for admissions into Kendriya Vidyalayas each academic year. Second, a discretionary quota given to the Union Education Minister for admission into Kendriya Vidyalayas was scrapped in 2021. Third, the objective of Kendriya Vidyalayas is to cater to the educational needs of children of transferable central government, including defense and paramilitary personnel, by providing a common program of education. But the admissions are open to civilians as well. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer to this question is B. The first statement is wrong because each member of parliament can actually recommend up to 10 students for admissions into Kendriya Vidyalayas each academic year. Second and the third statements are correct. The reason why we are discussing this question is because yesterday in the parliament there was a discussion where some members of parliament said that this 10 admission quota seats are not enough since every member of parliament represents lakhs and lakhs of people and there are many people in their constituencies who want their children to get admitted into the Kendriya Vidyalayas. The discussion was started by the Congress member of parliament Manish Tiwari, who said that the 10-seat quota is inadequate. Either it should be increased or it should be removed completely so that people don't approach them and they don't become angry when the member of parliament is not able to forward the name. He requested that the quota should be increased from 10 to 50 members. The Lok Sabha Speaker, Shri Om Birla, has suggested an all-party meeting to take a decision on this quota. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to the 2+2 dialogue held by the Government of India. Number 1. India holds such talks with Australia, Japan and the USA only. Second, it is a format of dialogue where defense and foreign ministries or secretaries meet with their respective counterparts from the other country. Third, USA was the first country with which India began the 2+2 dialogue. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is C. Since 2 and 3 are correct, the first statement is wrong because recently India started the 2+2 dialogue with Russia as well. So now there are 4 countries in all with which India has the 2+2 dialogue: Australia, Japan, US and Russia. Out of these, USA was the first one with which we started this dialogue in the year 2018. After this came Japan, then Australia and very recently the addition is of Russia. The 2+2 dialogue is a ministerial level meeting where defense and the foreign ministers of India meet with their counterparts of the other nations. The reason why we are discussing this question is because the Indian and the US officials are discussing the agendas on the table for their upcoming 2+2 meeting. The 2+2 ministerial meeting will be held most likely in Washington next month, and that is why the two sides are already setting the agenda for the same. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to the Padma Awards. Number 1. The awards are conferred on the recommendations made by the Padma Awards Committee, which is constituted by the Prime Minister every year. Second, government servants, including those working with PSUs, except doctors and scientists, are not eligible for these Padma Awards. Third, the total number of awards to be given in a year, excluding posthumous awards and to NRIs, foreigners or overseas citizens of India, should not be more than 120. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer to this question is D. All the 3 given statements about the Padma Awards is absolutely correct. The reason why we are asking this question and the reason why it is in the news is because the President conferred the Padma Awards just yesterday on a number of honorable dignitaries. This included the Padma Vibhushan Award given to General Bipin Rawat posthumously, which was collected by his daughters. Then we also had the chairman of the Tata Sons, Shri N. Chandrasekharan, who was given the Padma Shri. We also have the former CAG, that is Rajiv Maharishi, who was also given the Padma Awards by the President of India last evening. These awards are announced on the eve of the Republic Day and are usually awarded by the President of India in the month of either March or April each year. Apart from late General Bipin Rawat, we also had late Radheshram Khemka, who was given the Padma Vibhushan Award. He is well known for publishing a lot of Hindu religious literature. Next, question number 4. Who amongst the following first proposed the idea of Gandhi Khadar Fund? Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, Vallabhbhai Patel, or Vinoba Bhave? The correct answer here is B. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was the first person to propose the idea of the Gandhi Khadar Fund. The reason why we are discussing this fact is because exactly 100 years ago, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya gave this call to set up the Gandhi Khadar Fund in order to promote the use of khadar and organize large scale production of khadar, because he considered that if we discard foreign clothes and start using khadar instead, half of Swaraj would already have been gained by the people of India. You can find this small snippet of 100-year ago news in today's Hindu newspaper on the editorial page itself. Next, we have a previous year question from 2020. With reference to ocean mean temperature, which of the following statements is or are correct? Number 1. The OMT is measured up to a depth of 26 degrees Celsius isotherm, which is 129 meters in the southwestern Indian Ocean during January to March. Second, the OMT collected during January to March can be used in assessing whether the amount of rainfall in monsoon will be less or more than a certain long-term mean. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is B, since the second statement is correct while the first statement here is wrong. The reason why it is wrong is that OMT during the month of Jan to March in the southwestern Indian Ocean is measured at a depth of 59 meters and not 129 meters, which is why the first statement here is factually incorrect. The sea surface temperature, as you know, is measured very frequently in order to predict whether the total rainfall that will be received in India in the upcoming monsoon season would be more than the average, lesser than the average, or in line with the average. However, the scientists at Pune's Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology have found out a better way to predict the monsoon pattern. And that is why now they are using the ocean mean temperature, which has the ability to better predict, as compared to the sea surface temperature, the upcoming monsoon rate in India. The OMT has a success rate of 80% as compared to 60% success rate of the sea surface temperature meteorology. And that is why we have shifted to the OMT data now. Next, we have a fact of the day. And today we will be discussing about the government's decision to have a common entrance test across all the central universities, a decision that was awaited for many months now. The official announcement came by the University Grants Commission, that is a UGC, which said that we are introducing CUET, that is the Central University Entrance Test, which will now be mandatory for undergraduate admissions to any of the 45 central universities across the country. Now, the idea of CUET is not new. In fact, it was launched as back as in 2010, that is 2010. But it did not have all the central universities covered under it. When it was first launched, only 14 central universities were giving admissions with this test, while the other central universities were still conducting their own test. This is what the government has removed now. Now it is compulsory for all the 45 central universities to adopt the new version of CUET. This comes after the new education policy, which had advocated that there should be a single entrance test for the university admissions across the country. The biggest change that you will see probably is that universities such as Delhi University, which used to have cutoff marks extremely high, that will be a thing of the history now. Because now your board's marks or your class 12th marks will have no role in deciding whether or not you get an admission into a college or a program or not. Your entire admission process for a central government university, including the Delhi University, will be based only on your CUET score. The government also said that board marks can be used as a minimum eligibility criteria for the admissions, but they cannot be used to decide the cutoff from now onwards. This is a good news, especially for those students who think that their state boards examinations don't give as much marks as boards such as CBSE or ICSE may, and that is why they are at a disadvantage. The CUET will be conducted by the National Testing Agency that also conducts entrance tests such as the UGC NET and the JEE main examination. As for the UGC, the new test will be 3.5 hours long and it will be computer based. It will only have multiple choice questions based on the NCERT textbooks. While this test is compulsory for all the central government universities right now, the government is open to other institutions, including the private institutions, adopting this method to have entrance in their own institutions. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.